Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. James Corbett here, CorbettReport.com, with your propaganda watch for this week. And, it looks like the Department of Energy has a bit of explanation to do, or more specifically, the National Nuclear Security Administration, run by the DOE. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Don't fear the Green Reaper. The Department of Energy's creepy recycling mascot is here to save the day, according to Motherboard, which reports on the unsettling costume that was dreamt up by an employee at the agency that oversees America's nuclear stockpile. And here you can see the lovable Green Reaper here reaping the current crop of children to get them on board with sustainable energy or something like that. Reading from the report, nothing says sustainable energy like a green-clad Grim Reaper waving a flower-shaped scythe at children and demanding their promise to recycle on behalf of the government agency in charge of the nuclear stockpile. This is just one of the very jobs of the Green Reaper, the U.S. Department of Energy's horrifyingly adorable mascot. As first spotted by Reason, Freedom of Information Act requests from journalist Emma Best revealed that America's nuclear regulatory body decided to use the Green Reaper to raise awareness of sustainability goals, successes, and best practices. It's an odd makeover for death to don green robes and take a government paycheck to promote recycling on behalf of America's nuclear cops. Still, the mascot isn't as odd as it may sound. The DOE oversees energy production and conservation in addition to the handling of all nuclear materials, so spreading information about sustainability is in its purview. And it goes on to give information about how this Green Reaper came to be, and it talks about some of the events that it goes to promote sustainability and encourage bus ridership and other such things. What a bizarre, seemingly out of nowhere non sequitur. Like, why on earth is there this Grim Reaper character representing sustainability? And we may laugh at the humorous idea of some sort of green-clad Grim Reaper watching over this next harvest of children with his green scythe, but maybe it's nothing to laugh about. Yes, in addition to adding to the list of the not quite complete list of things supposedly caused by global warming, such as rising popcorn prices and killer cornflakes and literally Hitler, we can add climate grief. Climate grief to that list of things caused by global warming. What is this about? Oh, it's about the growing emotional toll of climate change. And this story, filed last December, starts by noting that when the UN released its latest climate report in October, it warned that without unprecedented action, catastrophic conditions could arrive by 2040. For Amy Jordan, 40, of Salt Lake City, a mother of 3 teenage children, the report caused a crisis. The emotional reaction of my kids was severe, she told NBC News. There was a lot of crying. They told me, we know what's coming and it's going to be really rough. She struggled too, because there wasn't much she could do for them. I want to have hope. The reports are showing that this isn't going to stop, so all we can do is cope. The increasing visibility of climate change, combined with bleak scientific reports and rising carbon dioxide emissions, is taking a toll on mental health, especially among young people, who are increasingly losing hope for their future. Experts call it climate grief. Depression, anxiety, and mourning over climate change. Last year, the American Psychological Association issued a report on climate change's effect on mental health. The report primarily dealt with trauma from extreme weather, but also recognized that gradual long-term changes in climate can also surface a number of different emotions, including fear, anger, feelings of powerlessness, or exhaustion. And it goes on to talk about all of the latest scaremongering before noting that this woman was able to find help in a 10-step program for climate grief. After the UN report was released, Jordan looked for a way to help her children cope. She saw a sign at her church for a support group that deals with the issue, the Good Grief Network. Founded by Amy Rowe, 30, and Laura Schmidt, 32, Good Grief offers a 10-step program to help people deal with collective grief. Issues that affect a whole society, like racism, mass shootings, and climate grief. An interesting mix there. The program runs as a 10-week cycle, each weekly meeting tackling a different step. It's currently in its 3rd cycle in Salt Lake City and is also running online. The steps encourage participants to confront their climate fears and sadness and acknowledge that they are part of the problem as polluters in a carbon-fueled system, but also find the motivation and strength to be part of the solution.